All right. In this video, I want to talk about what you need to know about women. And this is something men should know from a young age, because I think a lot of guys have wasted their youth when they should have been focused on building themselves up, not because they should have been focusing on themselves, but because it would have put them in a place to be beneficial to a woman and for a family. Because women naturally desire someone above them, maybe equal to them, but preferably above them, but definitely not below them. So then, if a woman thinks that now this is why I say thinks, because sometimes it doesn't have to be reality, right? But if the woman thinks she's smarter than her husband, she may be, but it could be that she just thinks she is. If she thinks she is stronger than her husband, if she thinks she is doing her man a favor by being with him, if she thinks she is making more, or her job's more important, or above her man in some way, she's not going to be happy. She's not going to be comfortable, right? Even if the guy is a great guy and there's nothing wrong with him, it's because of just the way women are. You can't get mad at them for how they naturally are, because we as men, we worship God because God is above us, right? If God was equal to us, why would we worship him? If he was on our same level, why would we worship God? If God was below us, definitely shouldn't worship him, right? God has to be above us and greater than us in pretty much every way for us to want to worship him and to have him as our God, right? So to have an ideal long-term relationship with a woman, well, then you need to be a woman with a woman, not to be a woman, but to be with a woman who you are smarter than, and she knows it. That you are stronger than, and she knows it. Where you are either the only breadwinner or the primary breadwinner, right? And if you fit that criteria, that satisfies her natural instincts to crave such a man, right? Because even if you're with somebody because they're Christian like you, because they are of good character, because they are kind and generous and funny, right? And they're just all around like your best friend. Well, if they don't meet what the flesh desires, it's still going to be a problem. Just like with a man may be attracted to a woman, but if she doesn't take care of herself, well, his flesh isn't going to be excited. It's not going to be attracted to her, right? Even though he might be attracted to her because of who she is, the flesh isn't as excited, right? And I imagine a lot of women deal with that, where they're attracted to their man spiritually, intellectually, emotionally, but they're not attracted to them physically. And it might not be because they're not physically fit, but because they think their man is effeminate or weak, right? Because a woman wants to be with a man that can protect her from other men. And if she thinks you're just too stupid to do so, she's not going to be attracted to you in that way. If she thinks you're too weak to do so, she's not going to be really attracted to you in that way. Or if she thinks you can't provide, she's not going to be attracted to you sexually. So she might be still trying to have sexual union with you because it's her duty as your wife, but she's doesn't have that same just natural sexual attraction to you because you're not actually appealing to her flesh, her physical body, her natural instincts, her natural desires as a woman. And a lot of guys don't realize that, and they've been trying to be with women when they're too young and they haven't established themselves, and then they end up not understanding why their relationship broke down because they thought they were a great guy, and the relationship broke down because ultimately the woman had certain desires that usually tied into those things, you being smart, strong, and able to provide, right? And it doesn't mean you're the smartest, the strongest, or the richest. It means that you are smarter than her, so she knows she can rely on you. You're stronger than her, so she trusts you to take care of her, like protecting her from other men, for example. And that you're able to provide for the both of you, right? It doesn't mean you have to be the best, right? That's not what I'm saying. But to have that attraction, that's what you need, right? Just like if a lady were to look manly, right? She had manly features, a guy wouldn't be attracted to that. Because guys are attracted to different things than women are, right? Like a man doesn't care how real smart you are, or how strong you are, or how much money you make, right? Generally, he cares about your beauty and if you respect him, right? Those are basically the two main things that a guy is attracted to, right? Because if you're disrespectful, even if you're beautiful, he's not going to be attracted to it. Because it's just a put-off, right? And a lot of guys are not taught this. Like, we don't teach teenagers this, so they just kind of go out and learn on their own. And as young adults, they get into bad relationships because they don't know what they're doing. They don't really understand themselves. They don't understand the opposite sex. They don't understand relationships. And a lot of it is because God's not even really in the picture with a lot of people. Even with Christians, God isn't really a thing. So they don't understand that as a man, God is higher than me, and that's what makes him appealing as being my God. Right? He's smarter than me. He's stronger than me. He can provide, and he's willing to die for me. All right. Well, if God's going to be like that to me, and I'm in a position of being his wife, his woman, all right, then I need to be that for a woman, or else I wouldn't be fulfilling my role as a man, as a husband. Right? It just wouldn't. It's not going to work, because why would the woman want to be with me when I'm supposed to be in the position of being her head as God is my head? Right? And this is something that we need to teach men, because, again, they may not be in a position to be in a relationship because they can't provide for their woman, or they're physically weak. It may be even weaker than the woman that they're with. You know, at the time of being a teenager or young adult. And maybe they're not even that smart because they've just been coasting through life being a bonehead. Right? So you need to understand, hey, develop your mind, your wit, your intelligence. Develop some physical strength so that you can take care of yourself, right? You don't have to be some cage fighter or power lifter, right? Just be fit enough to, be able to move the furniture around, to be able to carry your wife across the threshold kind of thing, right? Have enough strength to be a man when you need to be a man, right? And then get yourself in a position where you're able to provide, right? Whether you do so through a career, a business, dedicating yourself to God, put yourself in a position there where you can be a provider for her, and then she's going to feel safe and comfortable for you. And that's the difference between a man and a woman, where a man doesn't need to feel safe to be with a woman. He doesn't need the woman to make him feel safe, maybe emotionally. But even then, he could still mess around with her, because a man doesn't need to feel safe to have sex, right? But for a woman to get into it and to do so freely and to really express herself and enjoy it, she needs to be with somebody who fits those criteria, right? Just like a man wants to be respected, she needs to have that kind of love and support in that way. And then the physical attributes actually are secondary, right? And sometimes more of a bonus, right? So, I just want to make this quick video to get the fellas, mainly the younger fellas. I don't know if any of them are actually watching this video. They're probably too busy watching 2 to 3 minute videos before their brain dies. But they'll learn one way or another that this is the truth. And you don't have to like it, right? But the truth's the truth. And the way I was putting it earlier with somebody was that you may not like the fact that you have to eat and drink and then have to go and use the bathroom, right? To go crap and piss, right? You may not like the fact that you have to do that. But that's reality. If you don't eat, you don't drink, you're going to starve, you're going to dehydrate, right? And then once you eat and drink, if you don't urinate and defecate, you're going to be in pain and discomfort, and you're going to cause a backup of toxin, and you're just going to hurt yourself and get sick and probably die in a very horrible way. So you may not like reality, you don't have to, but reality is reality. You can either accept it and roll with it, or you can get all butthurt about it and fight against it and be miserable. Right? It's just the way it is. Right? So, with all that being said, thanks for your time and attention. Take care, and I will see you in the next one.